A tornado goes through a scrapyard. Boom! At the end of the where it finishes out of the scrapyard, a new 2025 car that's, you know, great comes out. No, things don't work like that. Because that's what evolution practically say, that this is all a mistake. So that's the same thing I'm saying, that when you just do things sporadic, you just like a what? Tornado going through a scrapyard, thinking you're gonna get a car at the end of the tornado. But things just don't work out like that. Calculate your moves, do them right, take your time. You don't have to rush nothing. Did you ever hear on SpiderMan when Uncle Bruce was like, Peter, with great power comes great responsibility? You know what I mean? That's what this is about. Meaning, don't be sporadic and make moves just because. But make moves because they're what? Calculated. Don't be sporadic and make moves just because. But make moves because they're what? They're calculated. I'm sorry, this gate doesn't close. Now back to the subjects, right? So, some of us want to just go ahead just because we can do something. We can do something, right? But haven't you noticed the difference between winners and people who achieve their goals is that they calculate moves. For example, my house, right? I've been looking for that house for the last 2.5 years. 2.5 years. I was looking for something far from the city where my dogs can bark and nobody can say nothing. Not that I'm a bad neighbor. I don't want people to say anything. And not to have peace, but like I wanted where I can just have a lot of animals. I don't have to follow rules. I don't have to deal with people, you know. But, you know, my mom would come and my mom would, like, you know, we'd find a nice house and she'd be like, you know, oh, this and that. This house is not, you know, this house is perfect. Just get this house. I'm like, nah, mom, I know what I'm looking for. I would go look for another house. Oh, this house is perfect. Get this house. And I almost did a couple of them. But something told me, I was like, nah, I'm waiting. And even on Facebook, I used to complain like, man, these prices are so high. I'm going to wait for the prices to go down. You know, but that part is the universe. And then, you know, people are like, you're stupid. You're not going to get what you want. Blah, 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 blah. But then, hence years later, I'm here. Got what I want. And prices were still high. Meaning, if I rushed, I would have bought a house in the city. I would have never had the dogs that I wanted. I would have never been in a country type environment. And I would have been mad because every time my dogs bark, somebody calls, you know, animal control or things like that. And then another example is, have you guys noticed Russell Westbrook, right? In the NBA. It's not that he's not talented right now with the Lakers. It's that he does everything in a rush. He wants to shoot too fast. He's moving 180 miles an hour and he can't get a hold, control the ball. And everybody's just like, man, he's talentless. Oh, he's trying to ruin everything. But the games they win, you know what he does? He slows down and he does what he needs to do. My whole point here is like, if you keep doing things just because you can do them, or you have the money to do it, or you have the power to change somebody's life, or, you know, do things that you can't do, doesn't mean you do them. Man, I'm getting lost here, but doesn't mean you do them, because sometimes you rush things and they don't come out the right way. Sometimes you do things out of emotions and they don't come out the right way. Sometimes you do things because you want to please somebody, it doesn't come out the right way. Sometimes you do things because you feel like, you know, you have to do it. It'll mean something because you don't have nothing inside, or you going through some shit. It doesn't mean it's gonna work out. Like once again, everything needs to be calculated. Everything needs to be calculated, man. Let me tell you something. Me, you see this? It's all Walmart clothes, bro. Walmart. All Walmart stuff. I've been rocking Walmart stuff for so long. But I know people, you know, I've seen around friends, they'll have $400 shoes, $200 jeans, you know, a $1,000 watch. But the same person goes back to an apartment. They'll have a $40,000 car, $50,000 car, but that person is renting. You know what I mean? They travel, you know, a lot, boom, boom, but their credit cards are like just overdue, you know what I mean? And they're just all spent. See what I mean? Sometimes you gotta fall back and stay in your lane. Another example is me breeding dogs. Just because I can breed a dog doesn't mean I don't have to. I think a couple of good females. And every time they get in heat, I get excited. Before, when I was younger, or you could say even a year ago, I use my male to any of those females because I'm like, you know what, my male's good enough to me. Like Juju, I use Thanos. And I mean, the dog I have now, he's cool. I don't even know how he looks like. But then when she got into heat again, I wanted to use somebody else's dog, the dude I bought the dog from. And then I got mad because we couldn't work something out, not because of him, not because of me, but the way things were going. And I was thinking, what? Going back to using the same male. A friend calls me. In the morning, I'm stressing about it. I'm like, what do I do? I'm just gonna use the same male. A friend calls me. He goes, man, I seen that video with you putting out with Thanos and Juju, man. They don't complement each other. And I was like, what? He's like, trust me, bro. I know what you're trying to do, but he's a dog guy too. I did this with this dog dude, and he taught me that, you know, you don't do this, this, and that. And then I was like, you know what? Okay. You know what I did? And I'm calling that dude back. We calculated what we want to do, and boom, it worked out. And then now I got a good breeding. But some other, you know, breeders will be like, oh, you know, I have to do it now. I have to do it now. I have to breed it to this person. I have to do it to that person. Oh, I think that. And then at the end of the day, you don't produce what you're looking for. You just produce now something that you took a lot of money to make, and now you're gonna get less money back. Everything you do has to be calculated. Everything you do needs some kind of thought process into it. If it's sporadic, if it's just, oh, I can do it, then you do it. That's when you lose. You know what I mean? That's what makes the difference between people who make something and it lasts longer and it changes their life, or it makes an impact, than people who just, you know, do whatever they think they're gonna do, and then boom, they're like, oh, that's cool, it's gonna happen, it's great. It's just like somebody once told me, and this person was talking about evolution, you know, and I'm not trying to sway nobody into anything, but they said evolution is like, and this also goes to the situation, if you listen, a tornado goes through a scrapyard. Boom, at the end of the where it finishes out of the scrapyard, a new 2025 car that's, you know, great comes out. No, things don't work like that, because that's what evolution practically say, that this is all a mistake. So that's the same thing I'm saying, that when you just do things sporadic, you just like a what? Tornado going through a scrapyard, thinking you're gonna get a car at the end of the tornado. But things just don't work out like that. Calculate your moves, do them right, take your time. You don't have to rush nothing. You know, Rome wasn't built in one day. Like I told you with me, I could have $2 million, but in your eyes, I better look broke. In your eyes, you know what I'm saying, I better look like I have 20 cents. You know what I mean? Just because you can do something doesn't mean you have to. Sometimes I'll go, you know, trying to get something, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't have money for that right now. When I do, it's not that I don't want to buy it from somebody or do that. No, it's like I'll put money and see if it comes in. You know what I'm saying? And see if everything I'm talking about comes. But if, you know what I'm saying, there's something more important over there, I'll do that. Like I said, I'm not gonna have $400 shoes, $200 pants, $1,000 watch, and then go live in an apartment. You feel me? I'd rather have my own house, my own car, my own things. You know what I mean? With the Walmart clothing. It's Zulunation, man. If you haven't, hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification button. It's Zulunation, baby.
Halala sanbongela, halala sanbongela we. Halala sanbongela.